Hello everybody, my name is Sebastian. I'm the owner of Psilium Integration and Psilium Environments. And I'm here because we wanted to share a little bit about psychedelics. My specialty is psilocybin. Long story short, I grew up in an abusive household, suffered from all types of abuses, from physical abuse, sexual abuse, and you know what? Things happen, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit there and laugh about it, but to me, I look at it as just an experience in my life that I got over. And I guess I'd have to say, one of the catalysts for that was being able to have psilocybin at 9 years old from my great grandmother, who was a healer. And it was at that moment that I saw the world from a totally different perspective. I saw it from a perspective of wanting to be a philosopher, if you will, ask questions, why people do what they do, why we do what we do, why are things, what's the motive behind certain things that we do. And as I got older and more into psychedelics and more into understanding how mushrooms worked, I decided to, before COVID hit, really dive in a lot more and go forth with cultivation, because I feel like anything that you do, you should know it inside and out. I mean, most of us sitting here as human beings, we don't even know how our heart beats, or we don't know really anything about how we feel. And then we go to like WebMD and we think we're dying. But with mushrooms, I found that, we share that compatibility of DNA with them. So to that, if that makes sense, it's like, man, if that's so true, that means they need to be maybe nurtured and coddled a little bit. And you have people talking to the plants all the time, and with mushrooms, I found it's the same thing. And what I also found is that every species is completely different. So when people just put everything in a box and say psilocybin, you're missing the entire point, because every single species, from my data that I've collected for years now, what I found is that each species works well with different ailments. So it's not a one-stop shop. So you can't just say psilocybin, especially taking into consideration your lifestyle, your traumas. Like, what are your traumas? I mean, you could sit here and try to not block it off in your head and hope that you take mushrooms or any kind of psychedelics, and then boom, oh my God, I see the light. That's great. But what about your body? What about your cellular body? That fear that you get, you feel it in your tingles, your body gets tight. That doesn't go away. You can't ignore that. You have to embrace that. You have to go through that again. And a lot of these journeys that you would go on in psilocybin, it gives you plenty of opportunities to actually embrace your body and become one. So this may sound metaphysical and everything, but it's so true. I mean, your cellular body is alive, right? So you have to have your cellular body handled and taken care of. So as I was growing these mushrooms, I realized that it's the same thing with them. So I set up numerous studies based on how they would grow best, best environments, whether it's music, lighting, whatever it may be. And I found out that different species grow with different music. I know, like, for me in particular, Mazatapic likes the Deftones, and Burma likes techno music. It's very interesting. And so it was a constant. So I did these studies about, 10 times each flush, different spores, and they're all pretty much the same. So I didn't want to look like this kook coming up here. But I really feel that cultivation could really start helping people understand what they're putting in their body instead of accepting any kind of synthetics. I think this is just my opinion. I think it's more natural, especially because I personally would want to have an understanding of what I'm putting in my body, as opposed to somebody giving me medicine that has never been on a journey. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that it doesn't, I'm not taking away from the new studies that are coming out, but we all know that it helps mental health. We all know that it helps depression, PTSD, but what is the end game? I feel that with the more data that we're collecting with psilocybin, that there is an end game, 100%, because you don't want to be this person that just uses psychedelics as a crutch. And I feel like a lot of that's what's happening. So what I'm doing is I'm sharing my data, and also with my integrative practice, is to be able to show people and guide people different ways to cultivate, understand their body, understand their gut health, understand exactly what other avenues they could have without having to go to a retreat and just go disappear and feel like they're healthy. Because you should be able to be healthy all the time. You should be able to, what I call, meditate in chaos. And chaos is everywhere. But thank you so much for having me. You can reach out to me at Antonio@psilocybintegration.com, and we could set something up to have a chat, or if you want to know anything a little bit more about the psilocybin industry, let me know. Thank you.